gave me a nice list. Good evening. I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Wendell Town Board of Commissioners and welcome all of you here with us tonight. We have a full house. That's so exciting. We love showing off our new town hall to everyone. So thank you and welcome to you all for being here. We are going to be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by East Wake High School student Mackenzie Kay. If you can come to the podium. Mackenzie Kay is a sophomore at East Wake iTech and Design Magnet High School. Mackenzie embodies the quality of outgoing, confidence, and friendliness. She fearlessly welcomes newcomers, putting them at ease in new surroundings. Her personal growth is evident in her expanding involvement in clubs, student government, and her community where she coaches young athletes. Academically, Mackenzie thrives, consistently enrolling in advanced placement and honors courses, especially in STEM subjects. She actively engages with her peers, listening to their needs and desires, and has recently been named the sophomore class president. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Mackenzie's initiative is remarkable. She's already planning a new club for her school. Beyond academics, her goal is to attend Duke University and pursue STEM or entrepreneurship. Despite personal challenges, she recognizes the value of family and the support that they provide. Mackenzie maintains a perfect disciplinary record, demonstrating her commitment to being a positive influence. She's an exceptional student who excels academically and exemplifies leadership and compassion. East Wake High School is proud to have Mackenzie as a student. So that is high praise, and we just wanted to have you here tonight and recognize you for that and have you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're very proud of you. Our invocation tonight from the Wendell Council of Churches, we're going to hear from Covenant Presbyterian Church Elder Stephen Page. Good evening. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. I hope you are.
Oh, yeah, we're doing good. I know we talked when we first came in about making announcements for the
You
church.
sure can.
We are having a yard sale and a blood drive on November the 5th. We're also having a work day for anybody who's interested this coming weekend if y'all like to do yard work. Right.
The guys on the board here with me love that. Y'all all see him after the meeting, and
Well,
y'all
we got to
can,
get it cleaned up.
they would
so.
love to come and do that.
All right, if you will, bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we ask that you give us guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. To give us meaningful discussion, help us to grow together as a group, nurture our community, and make every decision righteous in your name. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
Thank you. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
All right, there's a motion to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody? Okay. All right, it's time for our public comment. The public can participate in public comment by signing up at public comment on the night of the meeting in person, and you have 3 minutes to speak, or you can submit written statements via email to the town clerk on the Friday before the Monday meeting that you're interested in, you want to have comments regarding, and include your full name and address for the record, and comments timely received will be read into the record for a length of 3 minutes. We have one person signed up, Caitlin Gooch.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Caitlin Gooch. My address is 6400 Knightdale Eagle Rock Road, Wendell, North Carolina. I just wanted to come and say, if y'all have not watched the NCPBS 10 to Try for the Year of the Trail, please watch it. Myself and Harrison Todd were featured on it. It was a lot of fun riding that trail, Carver Creek Trail in Fayetteville. 2 weeks ago, Saddle Up and Read, and for those who don't know, I run the organization Saddle Up and Read that's located here in Wendell. Kids come out and they read to my horses. But Saddle Up and Read received a Humane Award from the ASPCA 2 weeks ago in New York City. That was a lot of fun. My first time being in New York. I took my daughter with me, so we had a lot of fun. Please look at our website for upcoming events. We have some reading sessions planned for this month, next month, and December, and look up ways to volunteer. Our community is growing. Today, and I've lived here all my life, by the way, but today I went to our community library, and the parking lot was packed. There was nowhere to park. The librarians didn't even have anywhere to park, including the senior center, which has a joined parking lot. That's all I wanted to share today. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations on your award. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, all in favor? All right. We'll move into our recognitions, reports, and presentations. Item 4A is the recognition of East Wake High School staff member, Ms. Kimberly Jackson. If she can come up here to the podium. Thank you. Kimberly Jackson is an educator with over 15 years of experience and serves as the AVID coordinator at East Wake Magnet High School under the principalship of Stacy Alston. She plays a vital role in the school's magnet program, establishing the seminar course and implementing innovative technology processes. AVID coordinators are integral in overseeing the Advanced via Individual Determination program, which aims to prepare students for college and career success. Working closely with teachers, Ms. Jackson integrates AVID strategies into the curriculum, offers academic support, and fosters a college-bound culture. She excels in organizing professional development for educators and collaborating with parents to ensure students receive guidance for academic excellence. Her previous experience as a high school English teacher reflects in her dedication to effective communication and student success. Ms. Jackson also serves as the school's testing coordinator, balancing this role with others. Beyond the classroom, her volunteer work and computer skills enhance her teaching capabilities, making her a passionate educator dedicated to academic growth and character development. East Wake Magnet High School is honored to have Ms. Jackson as a member of the school's family. We wanted to have you here tonight and recognize you for everything that you do for our kids in Wendell, and just thank you for that. So thank you.
Thank you. East Wake is truly my home and my family, and I'm very excited about what's coming for the magnet program and working with AVID. AVID's going to come to the elementary and middle school as well, so I'm excited about
That's awesome.
bridging that gap.
I know a lot of kids who've done the AVID program, and it's good. It's great stuff.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Thank you so much for all you do for our kids. Item 4B is a proclamation recognizing Operation Greenlight for veterans for November 6th through 12th. What did I do with that? Whereas Operation Greenlight is about showing support and gratitude for men and women who've served our country in the armed forces, and whereas in a time when our nation is divided on so many things, we can all agree that the men and women who risk their lives to fighting to protect our community and our way of life deserve our support and gratitude. And whereas this year, the town of Wendell is proud to be joining our colleagues in the Wake County government and other organizations across the nation in launching Operation Greenlight, an initiative designed to shine a light on the service of our veterans and their families. And whereas, as part of Operation Greenlight, the town of Wendell is illuminating our buildings green the week of Veterans Day, and we encourage individuals and businesses to join us by changing one light bulb in the entryway of your house or business to a green bulb. And whereas this is our simple way of saying thank you, your service mattered, and we are grateful. Whereas Operation Greenlight is also an opportunity to raise awareness of the resources available to veterans and their families. And whereas veterans and family members can learn more about available services at wakegov.com/veterans. Now therefore, on behalf of the Wendell Town Board of Commissioners, I, Virginia Gray, Mayor of the Town of Wendell, do hereby recognize Operation Green Light for veterans on November 6th through 12th, 2023 in the Town of Wendell, duly proclaimed this the 23rd day of October 2023, and that's signed by me. This is a small thing that we were requested to do to recognize the people in Wendell who have served in the armed service forces, so we thank you for your service and want to recognize you for that. Thank you. Let's see. All right, item 4C is the North Carolina Parks and Recreation Association recognition of Kelly Conley with the Meritorious Service Award. Mr. Pulaski.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioner. I'm just going to introduce Michelle Wells. She is the Executive Director for the North Carolina Parks and Recreation Association.
Good evening. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, Mayor and members of the commission.
Yes, ma'am.
As Jeff said, I'm the Executive Director of the North Carolina Recreation and Park Association, and we are the nonprofit organization in our state dedicated to the advancement of the park and recreation profession through education and advocacy. And it is indeed an honor to be here tonight to recognize, I guess effectively Friday, one of your former staff. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't quite make it while she was still here, but that's okay. I'm glad she was able to be with us tonight. So we are here to recognize Kelly Conley, your former athletics program supervisor, with our Athletics Meritorious Service Award. This is an award for a professional who has rendered service to an organization and the profession, and to be eligible for this award, they must have made a minimum of 15 years of service to their community through athletics in Parks and Recreation. So Kelly has worked for the town of Wendell most of her professional career, and most of that was in athletics. She had a focus on outdoor athletic leagues where she played roles in many aspects of our profession. She's worked with program partners, renters, participants, staff, and community members on a daily basis. She's seen those who were in youth leagues many years ago that she managed now participate in adult leagues, and maybe even have children who are now participating in those youth leagues as well. She's been involved in a variety of regional and statewide organizations and has been an NCRPA supporter and contributor through our statewide athletics program and our athletic directors workshop. I've been told, don't take offense to this, Mayor, but I've been told that Kelly is called the unofficial mayor of Wendell.
I've heard that as well. It's okay.
Okay, all right, so I'm not telling you anything you didn't know. And that's because of her dedication and passion for and love that she has for this community and those who live here and participate in all the recreation programs that are offered. She goes above and beyond with everything that she does. She leads by example and can even be seen dragging the ball fields and lining them when necessary to do that. While she's also a great supervisor to the staff and volunteers who are part of the program. If you didn't know, she's a fierce competitor. If you've ever played golf, tennis, pickleball, and there may be others I'm missing, with Kelly, you know that same passion she has for her own athletic pursuits has transferred over to her professional job here with Wendell as well. So before I go any further, I want to ask Kelly to come up here for a moment. I'm going to give you a hug. So tonight, we are honored to present the Athletics Meritorious Service Award to Kelly Conley. So to see this room full of Kelly supporters that will stand up and give her a standing ovation, not only upon the recognition of this award, but also her retirement, tells me a lot about the people here in the town of Wendell and Kelly as well. So you want to say a few words?
Yes.
Oh, they said yes. The official mayor said yes.
If you're the mayor, you got to talk.
So do I need to start with short jokes or anything like that?
That's okay.
This is a great honor, and it's been an honor for me to work for this wonderful town, and I love everybody in this town. I always say that, but that's the gosh darn truth. I am very appreciative of everybody that showed up tonight. I've even got some family watching in Florida, and so I'm very thankful for everybody that's in this room, and even the ones that aren't here. And my job has always been the most precious thing to me, and I love my kids, and that was one of the things everybody's always asked me is, do you have any kids? And I've always said, I only have 500. And the good thing is I get to stay on the Tar Heel board, and so I'll get to be around these kids when it's all-star time, but they'll probably see me popping up to see a ball game or two. But I will miss all the staff I work with, the part-timers even, though they've driven me crazy sometimes, but yeah. But, umpires, the coaches, the players, everybody. And thank you guys for my job. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And my family and friends and my church family means so much to me. So I just wanted to throw that in there too. Thank y'all.
We don't have any public hearings tonight, so we're going to move right on into our administrative items. And item 6A is a park and recreation area and facility naming application for the Wendell Community Garden.
Let me move that up. All right. Wendell Community Garden was created in February 2018. It had its first planting that spring. The garden has grown from 15 volunteers to over 33. The garden has become a huge part of the Wendell Park and adds to the beauty of this park, as well as provides fresh, accessible produce while providing opportunities to learn. Staff submitted the Parks and Recreation Area and Facility Naming application to provide the community garden with a naming based on a person whose contribution or significant gifts is of extraordinary nature. The Parks and Recreation Commission voted unanimously in August the 1st, 2023 meeting to recommend the naming for the approval to the Board of Commissioners. There's someone here that I want to come up and speak that has a better right to speak about Kelly Conley, so I want to call Matt Driver up.
Madam Mayor, board members, we're here tonight to celebrate just a unique human being. She's a great coworker of ours. We're going to definitely miss her tremendously. Not just athletically or whatever, but just as a personal human being that she is. She's loving, she's caring. I can't look at her right now because I'll lose it. That's how much she means to us, my coworkers and I. In 18, she had a vision. She done research on the community garden and everything, and she said, hey, let's go to Willow Springs. Willow Springs Elementary has a community garden. So I said, all right, let's go. So we took off. It was a work trip. Nothing fun. It was work. So we did. We went and took pictures. We got approval from the school, went and looked and everything. And she took that, and that's what she turned it into, along with her volunteers. That right there shows you the dedication that she is, loyalty to the town of Wendell, to the Parks and Recreation especially. When she says she's got kids, she's seen,
My
Madam,
children grow up.
exactly. Your
Yes.
kids that has come through the program, kids, not her Luke's, your kids that are in the program now. And that will never change of who she is. She's just an inspiration to me. That's what I like to be, is dedication to this town, and that's what she has shown. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Madam, before you have the motion, can you clarify what the new name of the park would be? I don't think that was actually said.
Is it in here? This is so top secret. Go ahead.
Then I lost you. It's the Kelly Conley Community Garden. Madam Mayor, I remember that 2018 as well, and I remember there was a conversation about a water line
that needed to be moved. And if you know anything about the site you're sitting on here, this is as far as water goes, and that's to this town hall. So it's a very new water line. And there was conversation around that water line needed to be moved, and there was going to be a community garden. And then about a week or two later, from my memory, there was just a garden that started being formed. And I got a phone call from Bill Conley, and then I think I got one from Ed Morrell. Those are Methodist names that if you get both of those phone calls, you pick up the phone and you call back. And it was, hey, look, oh, I'm sorry. And the next one was Benny Collins.
I was going to say something about Benny.
Hey, look, one, we want you to come out and work this weekend. Two, also, we need this water line. We a couple things we need. Kelly has, ever since I've been here, always been someone who takes off and just forges a path when she wants to get something done. And if that's getting a kid on the right team, or convincing someone to coach, or convincing a parent to show up and run a whole program that they didn't know they were going to, she can do it. She can do all of it. And with that, Madam Mayor, it's my great honor to move that we name the community garden the Kelly Conley Community Garden.
All right, we have a motion to name the community garden the Kelly Conley Community Garden. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I don't want to say no. I don't have anything else to add except how excited I am. And all I would say, and I may be getting beyond where we're supposed to be today, but I think this is going to probably end up being the nicest community garden in town, because none of us are going to want to let it be anything less than that if it's got your name attached. So Kelly and Donna were some of the first people I met when I moved to Wendell, and very quickly became my stand-in moms in a lot of ways, and folks that I've looked up to for a really long time, and just honored to be able to get a vote yes.
Kelly, you know you practically raised my children. She had both of them. They were so skinny and gangly, and they were horrible little baseball players. My little boys were football player boys. They were and they couldn't throw, and she had just had them convinced they were so big and tough and strong. And I remember Sam particularly coming home and telling me that Miss Kelly had talked about his big muscles. And he never forgot it, and he was maybe, 4? He was little. And then he played with you until he aged out. So, and now I think he works at the community garden with you. So uses his big muscles with the tiller. So anyhow, thank you. Thank you for what you've done for my children and my family. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to say congratulations, and since I've known you since like the 5th grade, I think, we were in the same class together, so all the way through high school and all. So congratulations and good luck on your retirement.
I'll just say real quick, Madam Mayor, that I got a phone call about the community garden myself, and kind of chuckled because Valerie and I struggled at the time to keep a cactus alive. And so my first, I guess, position was a strong back guy that helped build a fence and do the tilling and weeding and watering and such. And it's really just become an amazing, amazing thing. And it just benefits so many people in Wendell, Senior Center included. And it's hard to look at you too, because I'm that guy. But thank you so much for all you do. You know we love you, and it's awesome to see the support that you have, and you probably knew that already, but thank you, everybody, for being here tonight.
We're not going to get something from me. Thank you so much, Kelly, for your work, and not a better person to name something like this after for something that's so you dedicated and spent so much time in, and just to see it, no pun intended, but blossom and grow like it has, just from not just the number of plants, but the number of volunteers and just the fixture of the town, and so. I think Commissioner Eben said it best. Like, now that your name's on it, it's not going to be anything but great. So let's get this thing approved.
All right. So we have a motion to name the community garden the Kelly Conley Community Garden. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Congratulations, Kelly.
I just want to say I'm honored. Thank you. That's very sweet. I appreciate it.
All right, let's take a 10-minute recess so all of y'all can talk to Kelly.
There we go.
Well, y'all can take it out when you after that. 7:23. We're actually having a really good report next, if anybody's interested. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you. You should.
Nobody wanted to see us tonight, clearly.
Nope.
I know, a little bit, it would hurt my feelings. We'll let her. And move to item 6B is the Downtown Improvement Grant presentation. And we're going to hear from Matt Garner. Good evening.
I was so sure all those people were here for me, but
You know what? They love what you're doing.
thank you.
You're doing such a great job.
I will start, I heard this morning at work that one of my coworkers had taken her 16-year-old daughter and a bunch of her friends to the fair this weekend, and one of them lives in Wendell. Most of them live in Raleigh. And apparently this whole group of 16-year-old girls was talking about how great Wendell's downtown was and how much they think it's fun to come hang out and keep doing good work.
There you go.
Awesome.
Everybody likes it.
Well, for everyone listening still, hopefully, downtown Wendell is great. This presentation is on the Downtown Improvement Grant. Following the feedback we received at some prior meetings, we've made some changes and presenting to you what we hope will be a program. We're looking for your feedback. At any point, please interrupt me with questions or statements that you may have. So we currently have the two facade grant programs, we currently have the two downtown grant programs, the facade grant program as well as the building upfit grant, which are unique. However, they serve a similar purpose. And following feedback, like I said at the prior meetings, we tried to make adjustments to a singular program that addressed things like historic preservation, the size of grants awarded, eligible uses, the purpose of the program as a whole, the frequency of repeat grantees, and the quality, which also ties into the size of the grant of the projects. So the Downtown Improvement Grant is one comprehensive grant program that combines a lot of the components of the facade grant and the building upfit grant. The goal remains the same, like I said, and that's to improve and maintain the appearance of downtown businesses and buildings, encourage new restaurants, and allow for mixed use where applicable. And it also breaks projects into tiers based on scores, which are derived from the improvements being made, which was sort of our way of meshing everyone's feedback into one cohesive document. So just a little bit about the grant. A lot is very similar to each grant individually, and so they're now similar as a single grant. So the grant retains its 50-50 matching structure, not to exceed 50% of the total project costs, so we are still up to half or up to the total grant maximum award, depending on the tier, which we'll get to. Eligible buildings include an expanded downtown definition, so from Wendell Falls Parkway in the west to Selma in the east, Wendell Boulevard in the north, and 2nd Street in the south, which is really sort of our vision for what downtown Wendell is beyond just the DMX zoning. And it only applies to buildings that are at least 10 years old. That number, again, is new, and feedback is encouraged if you have a different thought. A 5-year period between grants for the same building and a 10-year period between grants for the same type of work, i.e. paint has to be 10 years until you can apply for paint, which may be waived for new tenants at the board's discretion. The Tier 4 grants, and again, we'll get to the tiers in a second, but Tier 4 grants retain some of the building upfit grant components, which require an agreement between the town and the grantee, ensuring that the improvements will stay in place for a period of 3 years. If the building changes to a use that's not suitable with the improvements that were made, or if the improvements are removed for any reason, we would get our money back at a prorated rate through that agreement. And then the scoring system that would be involved in the new grant kind of removes some subjectivity to what we would like to see, and it gives a really standardized way of judging projects against each other, and again is how we sort of utilize a lot of the feedback we got from y'all. So you have a copy of this in front of you, if that is too small, and so you can do some napkin math if you want to. Importantly, one of the things we heard was that some of these smaller improvements like paint or awnings on their own may not be what we're looking for in a grant program anymore. So notably, you cannot get a facade grant with just paint. You cannot get a facade grant with just exterior lighting or just awnings. You have to do a combination of things in order to be eligible. So the Tier 1 grant from 2 to 4 points on this matrix has a maximum payout of $2,000 or up to 50% of the project cost, whichever is lesser. So this keeps a grant program in place for the small things, for the awning replacements and the painting we've seen in the past, but makes it a little harder to get to. It also encourages people, to Commissioner Eamon's point, to do things in a historical preservation-minded nature. So painting on its own does not qualify, but painting added with compliance with the State Secretary of Interior's historic preservation standards gets you to that first tier. The second tier is currently what our facade grant maximum is already, and that's for things from 5 to 11 points. The idea is these are people that are investing a little bit more money, have a little bit more vision than just painting, just changing out a light fixture, just repairing awnings. So people who are, for instance, replacing windows or doors, or doing masonry repair, or changing the structure of their front facade, they would generally be eligible for at least this Tier 2 grant, sort of by purpose. Tier 3 is sort of an expanded version of what we currently have, so twice the amount, and the idea of that was trying to encourage greater investment for bigger and better projects, helping to facilitate that historic preservation, which sometimes is more expensive because you're using materials or designs that aren't as readily available or that contractors don't have as much experience doing. So that point total goes up as well as the potential maximum grant amount. And then Tier 4 is sort of where the building upfit grant fits back into this. So the maximum that we've put on here is $50,000. You have to get at least 15 points on the matrix. Notably, if you see 15 points is automatically given to you if your project creates a new restaurant. So you have all these eligible uses, but if the end goal of your project is to create a new restaurant, you're eligible for a Tier 4 grant. That dollar amount is based essentially on what this year's budgeted amount for that program was, but it is, of course, open to y'all's preference. And with that, notably, this page is the one we're looking for a lot of feedback on. If you have questions or concerns about any other component, happy to take them in. But happy to hear your feedback.
Okay. Anybody have any comments or questions?
So,
Yeah, okay.
I'm just going, tell me the significance of the asterisk 1, 2, and 3.
Sorry, so murals have to be approved by the Appearance Commission. Also, just for clarification, in case my parenthetical notation doesn't make sense, you can't get points for painting and installing a mural. A mural is paint, but it's not different than paint.
Okay, so that one needs approval.
Yes, and then compliance with Secretary of the Interior's Historic Preservation Guidelines just says in the fine print of the potential document that it's up to the grantee to show us how they're complying with those standards, and then we'll take that judgment. And then it'll also have a link to said standards in the document. And then the third one, second and third story activation, just notes that that is for buildings that currently are not utilizing their second and third floor space beyond just storing stuff in it. So you can't already have an apartment on the second floor of your building and apply for this grant to make the apartment nicer. It has to be vacant or empty, and you're creating an apartment, which creates a new living environment downtown. Yes, sir.
But we're still only, when it comes to second, third story activation, we're still only applying to exterior things, correct?
So the goal of the program is sort of a holistic view of the downtown buildings. So that and the restaurant space requirements are both things that would happen internally. So they could be structural, they could be
Sprinkling.
new access, they could be sprinklers, they could be firewalls, things of that nature. So second and third story activation was a component of the building upfit grant, which is why it fits into this way. But it is not on the same level of need as a restaurant space, which is why it's weighted less in the matrix.
but a standalone second, third story activation would not require the same agreements that a new restaurant, tier 4 project would require, related to clawbacks and other things.
If you were only doing that and you were only getting the Tier 3 grant as written, and again, this is a very early draft, that is the case, yes, but that can change.
I don't know about anybody else, but I probably just will play around with the points and see what happens. But and just me, but I see a couple areas that might, maybe we just bump up the points awarded. And I'll just, second and third story activation, if you do that alone, I would think that that would be a tier 3. So maybe that would be 12 points versus 10, but just a thought. And I don't know that we're trying to do that tonight.
Is that the kind of feedback you're looking for, though?
Absolutely.
I think that's what he's
Yeah,
looking for, so.
that's perfectly fine.
So tell him, yeah.
And then, the historic preservation piece, it's just by itself. I assume that you have to do something else to go along with it, right?
Yes, sir. Sorry, so that would be additive to whatever improvement you were already doing. So if you were painting, but you were basing it on the color it used to be and the type of paint that it used to be, you're adding the 3 to the 1.
But you still wouldn't be in tier 2 then, so I would think that maybe you bump that up to 4. And again, I'm just for discussion.
I agree definitely with the second and third story activation. That's a big deal. Somebody does that, we, you know.
And I assume that you're gonna need paint or something if you're gonna do second or third floor, but I would think that that would trigger a minimum, tier 3.
Right. There are some comps in some other towns that have downtown grant programs where people created apartments or condos on the second floors, and almost all of them, based on just remodeling the building, had to paint or had to repair bricks or had to install a new door. So almost all of them would have gotten to the tier 4, but we're more than happy to change the scoring to make sure that that happens.
I would just say that and again, speaking for myself, we're practically begging oftentimes for some of these higher tiers. At least then, if somebody just looks at it and says, okay, well, if I do second or third story, I'm automatically in tier 3. I think that's just a optics thing for me, rather than having to come to you and you go, well, no, you're still gonna qualify because you're gonna end up doing this and this.
Sure.
So,
Is there a potential where someone would be doing something like you guys were just talking about, like third story activation, painting, lighting, doors, and then just because of the other restrictions with tier 4, just not apply for that?
So the points get you up to the maximum eligibility, but
Right.
it doesn't necessarily award that grant amount. That's up to y'all's approval.
I'm asking about the clawbacks, though.
Oh, sorry.
I'm asking about as far as the long-term clawbacks. Like if you've done all those things and you're 17 points, but you don't necessarily want to have those clawbacks, could somebody then apply for less for the grant, or does it, because of what they're doing, does it automatically put them in that standard, that level?
You could write it either way. As it is currently, the tier 4 grants all across the board have the clawbacks.
Okay.
So that's just a preference on y'all's part.
To clarify, Matt, can someone request a lesser amount, a lesser tier?
Better way of saying it, thank you.
Yeah, the
Like,
application,
I got 25 points, but I only want $5,000 for a tier 2.
the application would say, which grant are you applying for?
Okay.
And circle 1, 2, or 3. And then there's also a line for grant amount requested, sort of the dollars.
One extra, I think, building on John's question, is the concept behind associating the clawback with the tier 4 specifically related to the types of improvements that are made for new restaurants?
Sure.
Or would it still be important for a non-restaurant tier 4 that did want enough money to, be bigger than tier 3, to still, would it be worth still having the clawback? I just understanding the policy behind the clawback.
So with the building up the grant as it was originally designed, it was about the dollar amount of the investment, and also protecting us from somebody who is a current building owner creating new restaurant space and then the restaurant failing, the owner moving on, and the new person not wanting to build a restaurant. So it was about protecting the restaurant investment. In this case, it's just a value statement on, is the dollar amount worth protecting if it's more than the $10,000 in the tier 3. So either way it works, you can have the clawbacks or not, or we can tie the clawbacks specifically to the restaurant and nothing else.
It makes sense to me the way it's written right now. Just a technical piece, I think the tier 3 probably is 12 to 14 points.
Yes, sorry about that.
Anyone else? Do you feel like you have everything you need for now to go back and work on it some more?
Yes, our intention is to present this out at the first November meeting. So if you have any other comments after you leave here tonight, if you're doing some napkin math, feel free to send them to Mark.
Mark, yeah.
I like the way it is, looks good, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited about it. All right, let's move into section 7, other business, update on board committees by town board members. Campo, Commissioner Even.
I am just delinquent lately, and Commissioner Deloach stood in for me again. I was out of town last week.
Okay.
I sat in, actually, we did it virtual, Mayor. Wednesday, the 18th. It was a pretty lengthy meeting compared to the last one. Went through a laundry list of things, and I can read you all of the notes. But honestly, the most important piece of all of it is that they should have the remainder of 540 awarded soon, the final phase. So everybody's excited about that. We did approve some project lists. There's a funding agreement between Campo and Go Triangle. Some discussion on 540 bonus allocation and community viz program. I already spoke with Mr. Coates about that, and we're working on that. But again, the highlight, 540 final phase awarded soon. Thank you.
All right, Wake County Fire Commissioner, Commissioner Joyner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm actually going to do two at once. The Wake County Fire Commission met last Thursday and is already in the process of discussing next year's budget and has begun expansion and capital plans. Happy to report that Ben Griffin, who happens to serve as the chairman of our planning board, has been named the chairman of the county's capital committee within the Fire Commission. And I've been named to the Budget Committee on the Fire Commission. So hopefully you'll see a new fire station pop up soon. And when we left that meeting, Madam Mayor, we had the Wendell Fire Department Board of Directors meeting that had been delayed directly after the Fire Commission meeting, where we received our audit. The fire department continues to be in good financial shape since it's primarily a pass-through entity anyway. And we received the last audit from Miss Phyllis Mills, Mills Petway. She is retiring and moving away. So it was, I think I told her I'd sat through more audit conversations with her than anyone else in my life. So that was the Wake County Fire Commission and the Wendell Fire Department Board of Directors.
Okay, thank you. Let's move into our commissioners' comments and stay with you, Commissioner Joyner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Would like to wish my wonderful, as my older daughter calls her, spicy 2-year-old Aniston James Joyner a wonderful second birthday. Today is her birthday. And since we're talking about kids and things that matter in the future, the night that I was appointed to be on the board, Johnny Whitfield from at the time, Eastern Wake News was sitting right where Mr. White was. And before I could stand up from the seat that I had just been appointed to, he had a recorder, and it was in my face and was asking me questions and wanted to know where I was from and what all the things. The East Wake News is long gone, as are lots of local press outlets. We have an election coming on November 7th. There's not going to be someone that shows up at your front door with a printout with all the names of people that are running and all the information that you would like to know about them. That was a nice time in Wendell when newspapers covered local stories. That was a wonderful day when the News and Observer in Raleigh cared about what happened, east of the Beltline. We're not in that day anymore. So what I would encourage you to do is to take time to find out where your polling place is. If you live in Wendell Falls, your polling place is moved. So find out where your polling place is. Find out who's on the ballot. There's 7 folks running this time, and make sure you turn up to vote. But wanted to give everyone a pre-alert that I haven't seen or heard of a debate or any sort of news coverage or a candidate forum or any of that. So you're going to have to go do the research on your own, and I'm happy to help, but wanted to encourage everyone to go do that. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
There's 8 people running this time.
That
Well,
is right. I was thinking the same thing.
Well, the
Commissioner Lutz?
people that are challenged, Madam Mayor.
I'm always challenged. Commissioner Lutz?
Nothing for tonight, Mayor.
Commissioner Eatman?
Well, just to make sure that we're all making sure that Commissioner Joyner's statements are perfect. If you live in Wendell Falls, your polling place may have moved. If you live in Encore, this is just a few neighborhoods used to vote at Central Baptist. That's moved over to Good Hope. Had something else that I think was really poignant, but I think that's all for tonight.
Think of it, I'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Tornaski?
Good evening, Mayor, and I'd like to say again, congratulations to Kelly Conley of her hard work for the Parks and Rec in Wendell and her retirement. Congratulations to her and her family. Thanks.
Commissioner Deloach?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll piggyback on that. Thanks to everyone that showed up tonight for what we'll call Kelly Conley night here. And congrats to her on her retirement. Happy anniversary to Grill Billy's, 10 years in business. Many of you know they relocated here to Wendell a handful of years ago. Personally was out of town on Saturday, but I think Joe and Sherry know just how much I think of them and everything that they do for Wendell. So congrats, Joe and Sherry and Grill Billy's. Finally, last meeting before November 7th. Commissioner Joyner mentioned it. Early voting has begun already. I've enjoyed the last 4 years, and it's hard to believe that it's actually been 4 years, but people of Wendell have placed their trust in me, and I've enjoyed being here. I think we've done a ton of great things. Hope to continue that, so make sure, if you're not voting early, make sure you show up on November 7th. We also have, obviously, an important $50 million. We have $38 million for Parks and Rec, $12 million for transportation on a bond. So if you've not received information on the bond, please reach out. We've done a great job of getting the word out to folks in different communities, various civic groups. If you are in need of information, I'm sure that anybody up here will be happy to assist with that. But 50 million, again, 38 Parks and Rec, and 12 for transportation. So appreciate everybody's support, and we will see you at the polls.
All right, real quickly, what are we going to do without Kelly? My goodness. She's been here for a long, long time. She surely will be missed. We wrapped up Arbor Day at Carver this past week, and I just have to tell you, those kids are so funny. They can't wait to dig and water and spread mulch, and I just want all the parents out there that are listening to know that your children love these things, and please do it with them at home. I'm sure they'd love to work in the yard. Here's some volunteers, and I've already volunteered our board to work at the community garden, so your kids really can't wait to get out there and work in the yard, so go get them. Let's see. I wanted to remind you real quickly that the Trick or Treat Trail, which is one of my favorite events, is this Friday from 5 to 8 at the community park. So come on out and see everybody. We're going to have a lot of candy and a lot of fun. It's not scary, and it'll be a lot of fun. I know the line is long, but it moves fast. So come on out. One other thing I wanted to tell you, the East Wake Education Foundation is planning right now their Pearl Gala on Friday, November 3rd, and it's a celebration of 30 years in Wendell, which is pretty great. The Eastwick Education Foundation is very important to me. It does, they prepare children for kindergarten. And if children are not ready for kindergarten, they're always behind, they're always playing catch-up. And it's very important that you be ready, and everybody doesn't have an opportunity to attend preschool. So they have free preschool and free kindergarten preparation. It's not a drop-off daycare. You stay with your child, and they have all kinds of information and classes, and people come there and teach parents, and there's parenting skills and family life skills and things like that, so it's great. We need to do everything we can to support the group, so they're having a huge event here in Wendell on November 3rd, right downtown at the Brickview Events. And so if you're interested, please come and join us. There's going to be food, music, lots of great auction items, silent auction, and a live auction with a real auctioneer, which I think will be a lot of fun. So they have a website. You can buy tickets online, and it's a chance to get out and dress up with your husband or wife or significant other. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, we are going into closed session. Do we have a motion to go to closed session?
Madam Mayor, I move we go into closed session, reference North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A3.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.